My name is Patrick.
And my name is Sampo.
And we will be your hosts today. This evening you will hear pitches from 13 teams that have attended this year's Ignite. All of the pitches will be 3 minutes long, followed by a 4-minute Q&A from our jury. And in our jury today we have Riku Asikainen, partner at Evely Growth Partners. Please give it up for Riku. Come on, get up. Also, we have Ekaterina Gianelli, partner at Inventure. Give it up. And last but not least, we got Pirkka Palomäki, partner at Makiviisi. But first, before we start the pitches, we want to quickly tell you what is Ignite.
So, Ignite. Ignite is a 10-week-long startup accelerator for students who want to pursue entrepreneurship and bring their startup ideas into life. Our mission at Ignite is to help these ambitious students by providing them a platform where they can, with the help of financial support, top-notch coaches, and credits from the university, focus full-time on their idea for an extended period. During the 10 weeks of the program are structured in a way where the students can get a clear understanding that what are the key considerations they face in the specific startup they are trying to build.
10 weeks ago, when the program started, most of the teams were at square one. With a record-breaking 128 teams applying and 13 best being selected, there's one thing that we have learned above all. Now, more than ever, students want to step up and take on the big challenges.
Now, the teams have been working for 10 weeks, and it's time for them to show you guys what have they been able to create during the summer. So let's kick it off with some fun stuff. And first, we'll be having on stage a team which is disrupting the mental health in the industry. Let's give it up for Alejandra from Mind Matters.
We're currently facing a new pandemic. One out of three young adults is suffering from symptoms of anxiety or depression. When struggling with mental health, it's super hard to feel understood, even by professionals. But even if you're in the need of one, at the moment, it might take you up until 10 months for you to find the next available psychotherapist. The demand is so high that the supply cannot keep up. So we had to take a step back and think, if there's not enough professionals to combat the mental health crisis of our generation, we are going to have to call for enforcement, for paraprofessionals, for those who have already experienced burnout, anxiety, or depression, and are ready to help. According to research, if you are able to talk to somebody that has already experienced the problem that you're going through, it might even be of more value than actual psychotherapy. We are Mind Matters, and we help and we connect people that are struggling with mental health with others that have already been there, for millennials and Gen Z, because our generation is much more comfortable in talking to strangers in the internet. I mean, that's where all of our communities are, right? And we have already tested it with me. I was the first guinea pig. 3 years ago, I suffered from a burnout myself. And let me tell you, it wasn't fun at all. But when I was able to recover, I wanted to help others struggling with these problems. So I opened a YouTube channel, and it blew up. So many people were coming to me for advice because I had already been there. I became an anxiety expert, not certified, but experienced. And we're seeing many like me in platforms like TikTok, recovering and ready to help, with millions and millions of views. So these early efforts are working, but it's now time to take it to the next level. After some of our trial and error failings, 10 days ago, we launched our first community in Telegram, and 70 people have already joined. We're also partnering with Finnish organizations like Nuti, who help students with their mental health. So how does it work? The user completes a short survey in order to get matched with one of the paraprofessionals already in our network. We want to provide early support for those struggling the most. Our paraprofessionals go through an application process and a training process. We, as humans, heal faster when we're able to help others. And we at Mind Matters want to be the first ethical gig economy company. This is our team with backgrounds in tech, marketing, product development, and startup experience. And we're looking for advisors in data security and expertise in the industry. We're moving to Silicon Valley this autumn. So if you want to help us build a world with more access to mental health support, let's connect here on LinkedIn. Because Mind Matters is not therapy, but it's therapeutic. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a great presentation. I love the problem that you're solving, but maybe if you can tell us a little bit more about the competition, because of course the space is already quite competitive, right? So how do you differentiate?
Thank you so much. That's a great question. So we have here our competitors. We don't want to compete with psychotherapy. We actually want to be the first touch point. And if we realize that somebody is in real need of a professional, we want to send those people to psychotherapy. So we are competing with apps, mindfulness apps, yoga, wellness solutions. But we're seeing that there's so much stuff being built at the moment in the startup ecosystem. But with Mind Matters, we believe that part of the problem is that most of these apps are making us spend time in our phones and less time connecting with real humans. So these are real competitors who are building these peer-to-peer platforms in the US, and we believe that we can compete with them because their approach is a little bit different and their communication is not as good as ours, so we want to compete with them and make these human-to-human connection more relevant than actual mental health apps.
Maybe a quick follow-up question on the user acquisition strategy, as in how can you acquire users at scale?
Sorry, how do I?
How can you acquire users, so how do you get people to use your service?
Yes. So our go-to-market strategy is TikTok. That's the main platform that we're going to use, since there's so much talk about mental health there. And we're starting piloting with the people in our Telegram group, because those people have already experienced to be going through something. So we're planning to do some user research and user testing with them.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks from my side as well, and congratulations on
Thank you.
on the good pitch. Maybe on the kind of money side, because it always interests me. So how do you think that, if you have like an official type of help, so then you are most likely outside of the coverage of any insurance or anything like that. So how do you think that are people willing or able to actually pay for services like this, and in which magnitude? What do you think?
Yeah. So thank you for that question. We want to really focus on the data security to start off, because that's going to be one of the main challenges with these sorts of solutions. So that's why we're searching for a privacy and data specialist. But after that, we would say that the main value here is to be able to talk to somebody that understands what you're going through, even though that person is not a professional. So that's the biggest value that we want to give to our users. And this is our business model.
All right, thanks, Alejandra. Thinking about kind of like how do you ensure the quality? So even you have gone through kind of like maybe the same problem earlier, but then are you ready to be a coach? Do you have a program for that? How do you actually train the people, and then how do you ensure the quality? Because obviously we have very vulnerable people attending these sessions, and you have to kind of ensure that nothing bad happens there.
Thank you so much for that question. So at the moment, Nuti is going to help us train these people that are going to be in our platform. But we have realized that the training is not the most crucial part, because sometimes what people are needing the most at the moment is to be heard and listened to, and that's something that we cannot train people to do. So.
All right, that's time up. Thank you, Alejandro. Next up on stage, we're going to have a team that is determined to solve constructional surplus. Please, let's welcome Sara from ReZero.
$14 million. Every year, Finland produces 14 million tons of construction waste. The bitter truth about that is that 10% of it is unused, valuable building material. To help myself put that into perspective, I did a few calculations. If that 10% was utilized, 5.2 million tons of CO2 emissions could be prevented every single year. That 5 million tons is equivalent to over 6,000 homes' energy use on a yearly basis. We think that that is completely unacceptable, which is why we're on a mission to make one man's trash into another man's treasure. Our first step was to reach out to those who experienced this problem firsthand. The 19 industry interviews we had gave us a deep dive into the secluded world of the construction industry. The most common challenges companies pointed out were the lack of time, space, and options when dealing with the surplus material. We discovered that companies are often caught between a rock and a hard place. They are told to choose between sustainability and profitability. But what if they didn't have to choose? We are creating a service that helps connect companies who produce surplus materials with other companies who are looking for cheaper and greener alternatives. We aim to reinforce the belief that sustainability and profitability can, in fact, go hand in hand. To reach that aim, we need a team with integrative understanding of business, technology, and design, and with a common goal of creating an impact, regardless of how small it might be. Together, we figured out a model that makes the buying and selling of the surplus materials easy, efficient, and most importantly, profitable. Through ReZero, construction companies will earn new revenue, and architecture and design companies will reduce their material cost. We allow companies to partake in the circular economy, and at the same time, we give them sustainability analytics to help them track their goals. And with each transaction made by these companies, ReZero will take a commission. During Ignite, we took more and more steps towards our goal. And we are thrilled to announce that as of today, we have companies like YIT, Lujatalo, Varni, and many more eager to start taking the steps required to introduce circularity into their industry. And with our help, their job becomes that much easier. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah, for a very clear and pitch and an important problem, obviously. The one thing that I started thinking about is a bit of a logistical challenge, isn't it? So it's a kind of like not only kind of matching the material, but also the timing issues. So have you kind of calculated a little bit how to make that work and make the unit economies work?
So in the beginning, it's manual, so we have to do it by ourselves, but later on we want to automate it. So technically the way it works is that we ask the companies what type of projects they have going on and how frequently do they have going on. So one of the example companies actually has 67 projects going on at the same time, and we actually want to know the amount of surplus that's coming before it's actually in the construction site. So we have to plan that ahead.
Maybe a follow up to that one. So when we are talking about surplus, so what is it exactly in this case? Obviously it's not like windows and extra doors, so but something else.
Surplus meaning wood, metal, anything, pipes, unused.
Yeah, something that would be kind of easily fit into
yes.
Any type of a building. Thanks.
Thank you for the great presentation. What do you yourself see as the biggest challenges in these? As in, I'm just thinking, why no one has done it before?
It's definitely the mindset. I think a lot of the construction workers or the companies are programmed to think that, okay, well, we've done the project, we finished it, everything else is trash, which is not. The wood is either burned for energy production or then recycled, but I don't think many people think of, okay, beyond that, what can be done with these materials?
Do you think anything has changed, or is the timing better now, and if so, why?
So currently there are new and upcoming legislation and regulations surrounding the construction industry, which makes construction companies have no other choice but to become more environmentally friendly. So there is an upcoming regulation that doesn't allow construction companies to have a building permit unless the building's climate assessment, material passport, or carbon footprint values are below a certain level. And that is why our service comes in very handy, useful, and necessary.
Yes, I can certainly see the timing on this. Still, it can be quite complex. Do you think that you are going to start with all the materials, or are you starting with something that wood only, or cement, or
Yes,
yeah.
You're correct. So we're narrowing it down at the beginning to wood, and later on we will scale it up to other materials.
Yeah. And on the reuse, then is it more really recycling, or is it using as a energy source, or are you thinking that somebody could build another house from that, or are they going to just burn it?
Yeah, no, we're going to avoid burning. We're not burning anything.
That is not prolonging the life cycle. So currently we've been talking to this furniture manufacturer, and they would use the wood in building their furniture, this wood furniture.
Okay, yes. Yeah. But like a little bit back to on the timing that the current, if you are building or doing anything today, you like to have lean processes, and then you like to know when you get the things that you are doing. So how do you kind of match the needs of the end customer, being the latest one in the row, because it seems so to me that the kind of waste happens in a different time scale, that you can't order somebody to please send me waste at this time, because they don't know if they have it or do they?
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard in the beginning, because we talk to companies who are ready to give materials maybe every 3 weeks. So the companies who we talk to.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot for ReZero. And next up, you'll be hearing from a company that is changing the way the ticketing industry works. So let's give it up for Max from Neftic.
Hey son, the event ticketing industry hasn't changed in 50 years. Currently, the industry is facing major problems, such as lack of connection between the fans and artists, scams and fake tickets, as well as a poorly functioning resale market, as seen in the comment section of Weekend Festival's Instagram. Very sophisticated. This is what we call ancient ticketing. Currently, a ticket is just a ticket, but with the Neftic ticketing platform, it is much more. For the event goers, it is a new way to engage with the artists and sports team that they admire through loyalty programs and rewards. For the event organizers, it is a new way to identify their true and most important fans, using data stored on the blockchain. Neftic also gives consumers access to a safe and secure secondary market. For the event organizers, this opens up a completely new stream of income by getting a cut for every ticket sold in the resale market. Neftic is built using blockchain and NFT technology, thus enabling these opportunities. Our product is designed to offer a simple ticketing process where ease of use is heavily focused on, making the user experience great both for the event goers as well as the organizers. Our business model is a transactional type of model with a fee starting at 6% for every ticket sold, depending on the size of the event as well as what features are included. We're starting with targeting the traditional event ticketing industry. Last year, 65 billion euros was spent in the space worldwide and close to 2 billion in the Nordics. However, we strongly believe that future events will also take place in form of hybrid and metaverse events, to which our platform is as applicable. As the world is becoming more and more digital, so are events. One day you might be dancing at your favorite festival in the metaverse. We are a hungry and entrepreneurial team of 4 people with complementing skill sets. We have previous experience working within startups, sales, software development, and design, all of which has been proven very beneficial for our startup. When you want to see how the future of ticketing looks like, come and talk to us. Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Yeah, definitely. I think there's something needed to be done that because of the scams and everything. I'm thinking about the kind of position in the value chain in a way that are you going to be just a platform for everybody, or are you going to go ahead kind of compete against the existing kind of places where people acquire tickets, and where do you see kind of strategically you would need to be?
Yeah, so we're going to be directly competing against the existing company, so the status quo, and we see that our like the extra revenue we can generate for those like event organizers gives us a really strong competitive advantage in like with respect to the older ancient ticketing companies.
How do you think, maybe a quick follow on the kind of competitive advantage for you? Is it just the speed of execution, or why wouldn't the old incumbents just do their own?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're a startup, so we can move fast, and as well, like I mentioned, the second-hand market and the revenue the event organizers will get from that, especially for larger events, is so high that at some point they just can't say no to that, and as well our loyalty features and other perks.
Maybe a quick question. How are you different from Ticket Swap? Because they are doing more or less this, right? Anyone knows Ticket Swap? If not, check them out.
Yeah, yeah, we will look into that.
Okay, and then the next question is, how can you scale it quicker? Or what are the most scalable user acquisition channels for you?
All right. So basically, we're starting from the home base, so Helsinki area, and there are a lot of big events here. But obviously, just like scaling from event to event is really simple for us, since I mean the platform is built. So onboarding new users becomes really simple. It's just more of a matter of like doing some business development and getting those contacts into the other events.
But how do you actually do it? If you can tell us a little bit more about that, as in how can you, do you need to work with the event organizer? Or?
Yeah. So currently we've been talking to lots of smaller event organizers, all of which has been very interesting in hearing what we can offer them compared to their current ticketers. So our go-to-market currently is starting to contact these smaller event organizers, showing them what we can do, and then build up from there, and go to the bigger events as we have a track record to show them as well.
So, in maybe going back a little bit to Pirkka's question, that who is really the gatekeeper in this industry? Do you think that it's the artists, or is it the events, or is it you?
It's of course a big. The bigger companies, Ticketmaster and Ticketti and Lippu.fi here in Finland, has a good control of the market, and that's of course one of the bigger challenges that we are facing to enter the market. But as mentioned, we're starting small and building up from there. And actually one go-to-market that we thought of as well would be to partner up with these bigger companies and become, for instance, Ticketmaster's innovation lab, doing the for instance only the secondary market value prop that we're offering. So yeah.
Yeah, but it might change. I don't know if Ticketmaster is the gatekeeper. It can be that it's also the events that they are just saying that, okay, we have different vendors that are providing this service, and they might open the door for you. But I don't know. But I would quite carefully look at the kind of to understand that part, because then if you are wrong on it, then it's much more difficult for you to get into the market. Okay, thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have on stage a team that helps you to stop wasting time on dull meetings and long presentations. Yes. Please, let's welcome Anastasia and Aigul from Summarize.
Hi, with Summarize.ai, you get the most out of your meetings. It's so hard when your calendar is full of events. Tons of information is being exchanged in them every day. And it's so easy to get lost. Today, we introduce a new tool to help you stay on top.
In Summarize.ai, we convert long meetings into short text summary. For example, this is a 36-minute interview with Mark Zuckerberg about Web3. Let's turn on the magic and processes with the power of speech recognition and NLP technology. And as a result, you get short summary with the key ideas. So you can easily get insights in seconds instead of hours. Here's how our product works. You give us access to your meeting recordings, for example, Google Drive or Dropbox, and every time we get new meeting recording, we analyze it and summarize it, and then we deliver short summary with the key points right to your inbox. As you can see, there is no need to switch to new services to use our technology. We know that now is the right time for our product, because from the technical side, good quality summarization technology has evolved.
And from the market point of view, the number of virtual events is fast growing every year. Our business model is SaaS. We target the corporate sector, and our subscription starts from $30 a month. Of course, as any startup, we have competitors. They go vertically and they solve specific tasks such as job interviews or user meetings, but we decided to take a very different horizontal approach. We target meetings in general, and we see that our potential market size is huge. It's a very different strategy. To build our product, we validated that the problem exists and understood the user needs. We conducted 30 interviews. Then we launched a survey with more than 70 responses. Based on that, we built an MVP. And we are happy to share we started piloting last week. By the way, we now have 24 people who are our pilot customers. We are a team of two, me, Aigul, and Anastasia. We met in Aaltoes Computer Science, and we both have a previous experience in startups.
As we mentioned before, we started piloting last week. To join our pilot, scan the QR code and book a demo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, good pitch and well delivered. Does it work? Like how
yes,
long,
works.
you know?
You can book a demo and try yourself.
Yeah, okay. So what should I expect? Like if it's a half an hour discussion, then.
Yeah, so if you book a demo with us, we will ask you to prepare video recordings in advance.
Okay.
So when we meet with you, we will show you the summaries and we will get your feedback.
Okay. And how many times have you done that? Or like what is the data source that you have now used to educate the AI currently?
So yeah, we used open source data to train our model.
Okay.
It was about 1,000 samples of open source presentations. And then we validated our technology on more than 200 different videos, and it worked well.
Okay. doesn't sound like really a lot, but of course it would be interesting.
Of course we need, yes, of course we need to train our model more and more and more, but for that we need more engineers.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Well, I actually had a follow-up question, a similar question on acquiring data and training the algorithms. And of course, most of your competitors, like you said, they're going vertical, and that's primarily because of that, right? Because they get a good pool of data to train the algorithm on whatever, a certain industry, healthcare or something else. So if you are planning to go horizontal, how can you overcome this challenge?
Yes, so if they go vertically, they solve specific tasks, and they add more features, for example, for job interviews, they analyze the profile of user. But
exactly, I get it, but I mean, they mostly do it because of the reason that they actually get quality data on a certain industry or certain whatever problem or use case. So is there anything you can do differently, or how can you overcome this?
Yeah, so we are planning to work with specific companies, and we will tune up our models for them. So basically, if they work in a special domain, we will analyze their keywords, and the more videos we produce in our model, the better is the results.
Yeah, probably we all kind of circling around the same topic. Horizontal is good, obviously opens a big market, but then aligning like the whole go-to-market, marketing, all of those activities. So kind of like, how would you go about marketing this if it's a horizontal platform?
So for now, we have a very basic go-to-market strategy. We just connect with people in LinkedIn and offer them to try our product. But eventually, we might have divided into special products for special needs.
Yeah. Then maybe thinking about kind of the competitive advantages, I think nowadays there's a lot of, as you said, you use some open source as well, so there are kind of speech-to-text algorithms already available and so forth. So kind of like, which are all available to all companies. So how do you kind of maintain your competitive advantage?
In sense of technical side?
In sense of delivering the best value to the customers, so that they will choose you over anybody else.
Okay, we are aiming to, give me a second. Yeah, so our competitive advantage is we want to build an essential tool for everyday needs. So the manager, for example, in a company won't need to use many different small services for particular tasks. They could just use our service for meetings in general. And every time they have a meetings, they will know that, okay, there will be summary right in my inbox. So this is our aim.
Okay, thanks. You.
All right, thanks a lot, Summarize AI. Next up, we'll be hearing about an ambitious team that is trying to improve the biodiversity all around us. Let's give it up for Samu from Baru.
It seems that a lot of things are going wrong in the world right now. Climate is getting worse, forests are being cut down, and animals that were once everywhere around us are now becoming extinct. What if you could do something about it simply by playing a fun mobile game? We're Team Baru, and we are creating a Pokemon Go type of game, but with real-life animals. And this is how the game works. So here we have all kinds of habitats for animals, like birdhouses, insect hotels, bat houses, and so on. And on our game, instead of visiting Pokestops, you can investigate all these different habitats on our map that your fellow players have installed. And on this exciting adventure, you can also install your own habitats and log them on our game as well. Instead of collecting Pokemons, you can collect observations of real-life animals. And you can progress in the game by building, installing, and taking care of existing habitats as you gradually become the top player in your area and fill your biodex with the rarest species in the world. And to get some feedback on our idea, we made some parts of birdhouses here at Design Factory and gave them to 2 different families. We also gave them some instructions on how to assemble the habitats and then asked some questions. And the feedback was super positive. Kids really loved building homes for birds, and parents found a meaningful way to connect with their children. We also printed this prototype of our game and gave families a task to put the sticker to the location where they installed the habitat. Kids also found this part super fun, and parents said it would be an interesting family activity to go and see what kind of animals are living in all the other habitats that our players have installed. And all the families we spoke during the summer were really interested in our idea, and actually over 90% of them joined our waiting list, where we have 20 families at the moment. And our business model is based on selling habitats on our game directly to private customers. We are also exploring possibility to sell the habitats to companies in exchange for getting their logo on our map. We are a really tight-knit team of 5 people with complementary skills. So we have 2 business developers, 2 software developers, and 1 game designer. And this is where we are with our game right now. So we have been working on it during the summer with constant feedback from our customers, and we are soon ready to publish the first version to the public. So if you want to be one of the first people to try out our brand new game, please go to our website at paruapp.com and join to our waiting list. And if you do that, you also get the chance to win your first habitat for free. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Samu. Super exciting stuff, so good to get people out into the nature. Have you actually considered other alternative monetizing streams besides just selling the habitats? That you could actually somehow monetize like similar way as in Pokemon Go and the other games directly with some sort of money inside the game, or?
Yeah, I think we have been thinking about a lot of different models like premium versions of the game or monthly subscriptions or something like that, but at least at the moment we feel like this is the best way to do it, and yeah.
I actually had the same question on monetization, but fine. But maybe can you tell us a little bit more about the next steps, or are you thinking of adding more games or more? What's next?
Yeah, so we have a waiting list with about 20 people at the moment, and what we want to do is we want to tailor the experience to those 20 people, and in the meantime also build a social media presence around biodiversity and nature and the beauty of nature, and turn that into a marketing channel as well for fueling growth.
Do you think some of the existing games would have something similar, as in like some of the existing game developers adding something like this to their current portfolio?
There is a genre that is close to this, which is called the geo-based mobile gaming industry, which has the likes of Pokemon Go and Minecraft Earth and these kinds of games. But what we're trying to do, we see that it's quite different from that, since now we are actually targeting young parents with children and trying to actually have a positive impact on the world around us.
So you're addressing different audience? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is very cute, of course. I'm thinking that how do you kind of technically scale it? That let's say that you would have 6,700 cities, and something like that. How do you partner with somebody or
yeah, exactly. So yeah, our idea is to outsource the production of the habitats and also like
to child labor somewhere. Yes.
No, maybe the local
I'm just thinking that everybody was thinking of it. It's not only me. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so we are outsourcing everything what has to do with the physical stuff, and we are only focusing on developing the game ourselves. So that's how we're going to make this as easily scalable as possible.
Yeah, we want to support local livelihoods and local carpenters in various regions.
But that makes it quite complicated. Then you have a lot of players to work with. Okay, yeah, best of luck. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Burro. Next up on stage, we have a team that is changing cloakrooms for good. Please, let's welcome Ali from TapCheck.
Hi, this is how you currently check in your belongings at a club, bar, or an event. There's always this little anxiety that stays with us to keep safe our claim tokens, yet many a times we end up losing them. And from then on, it's a great hassle to get our stuff back. It has happened so often with us three that we decided to do something about it. So we put our good skills to use at TapCheck. TapCheck changes the entire scene so that your credit card is your Narikkalappu, or your claim token. So you just walk in, tap and check in your belongings, hand over your stuff, that's it. You're tap checked in. While walking out, you tap with the same card and you'll be handed over your stuff. That's it. You're tap checked out. But wait, that's not all what we do. What we actually do is enable advanced data analytics for businesses to grow. So now businesses can get their questions answered, such as how much time visitors spent at their place of business, or what are their peak times, or how many visitors did they have at their last event. Ours is a compact POS terminal device with a fully integrated TapCheck system installed. We start at $13.99 a month with a 15% charge at every check-in. The Finnish market is currently swarmed with tags. In the rest of the world, we have identified our competitors. However, either they use personal data such as your picture or your phone number, or are too tech-intensive with conveyor belt systems and lockers, making them both inefficient and uneconomical. Our go-to strategy in Finland, where we have 1,298 clubs and bars with 30+ venues and arenas, would be, first, a employee-based referral program. Second, free check-ins for customers initially. And third, free trial basis for businesses to experience our service. Currently, we have our fully designed MVP ready for you to experience right over there at the end of the demo day. And plus, in the upcoming months, we plan on entering testing phase in real-life environments to iterate and improve on our solution. By February 2023, we plan to have at least 50 businesses onboarded, with the onboarding rate improving each month. Our vision is to make tap checking the trusted industry standard for intelligent safekeeping. Today, we ask for your valuable feedback and kindly refer us to anyone that can benefit. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the presentation. I love the idea. But a couple of questions. So first of all, how do you make sure that users are not afraid of using something like this? As in, like, would people easily go around tapping their card? Or
yeah, so we're not doing anything extra. You just pay as you would as on a normal POS, just that the POS we currently use would be ours. Of course, we're not developing the hardware. We're outsourcing it, and it's just the software that's on it.
So then, yeah, that's my second question, actually. What kind of infrastructure is needed in all of these bars or venues?
Yeah, so it just requires a point-of-sale terminal device that has Android in it.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
All right, thanks, Ali. What if I'm so wasted that I've flushed down my phone with the toilet?
Yeah. Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
That's what happens to Riku, I know.
Why your phone? It could be your wallet as well, but we've thought about it. So once you check in, we store your name and your the last few digits of your credit card for the time being on locally. So once you come back and you want your stuff, we just want your ID, and we search it up manually. If we find something, it's yours, and we'll delete the record. That's
yeah, good. Then another follow-up. I think definitely this is a problem for kind of the visitors, but how big of a problem is it for the venues, the restaurants and stuff? They're the ones who would be paying for it, but is it really their problem?
Yeah, so we're thinking of the ways we could improve the value for businesses. But currently, there are a few things that restaurants or bars are regulated to do, such as keep account of how many people are in there at a certain time. So they have the manual clicker and people counting them manually. So we plan on automating that. Plus, we are also finding value in reducing the time that it takes for the staff to actually check in your stuff. So we're calculating that, and we aim to reduce that as well. So people could spend more time inside of the place of business rather than checking in the stuff. And,
are you at the same time replacing the loyalty cards? Just thinking like.
Yeah, that could be one thing that could be integrated into it. Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. But I have to admire, what you have done in this space, which is very tiny. So it's remarkable that you have thought it through. But like it's also almost impossible for me to see that this would be a big business as such. Then I think that you need to go back to drawing board in the market, just the size of the market. That if you are looking at 1,200 restaurants in Finland and they would pay 40 euros each on 100% coverage, then it's not most likely that you are able to hit that.
Sorry to cut you off, but the price point that we've set is actually we've searched the market, and currently the point of sale terminals that are being used are range from 30 to 70 euros. So it's quite in the middle.
Yeah, but I can see that as well. But it's costly to go through all those restaurants and close the deals. So but you have certainly thought it through, and I think that it could have some value on the kind of following the customer journeys and separate issues like that. But but maybe it's if you would come with a car and it's a parking ticket at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, but you don't come with the car to a bar, so or you don't leave with it. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ali. So next up, we'll be hearing from a team that helps companies get a bit closer to their customers' minds. Let's welcome Pihla from Maven.
Hi. Maven gets your customers talking and helps you with customer feedback using familiar features from social media with smart analytics. Feedback is asked a lot, and we totally get it. It's needed. But rarely do we take the time to come up with something new for someone else. So, people start finding shortcuts. This picture is from our school cafeteria's feedback wall. We can see how people love building on top of each other's comments. And we made that into a product. In our solution, we show your customers other people's comments. That's a much easier starting point compared to a blank, boring feedback form. Here, they can upvote and downvote, reply, and interact with each other. It's quick and it's engaging. Maven is like the feature request tool, but for businesses who serve customers in physical spaces. And as a business, you no longer need to be stuck clueless with a piece of feedback. Now you can start understanding your customer base daily. You can test ideas, find new ideas, and take action by easily sharing the data with your team. This conversation-like method generates cumulative feedback data for you, as the customers actually analyze the feedback partly themselves together with our algorithms. Like that, we are always testing what your customers agree on, so you will always know what's important. And where some other quick solutions, like Happy or Not, only offer unexplained smiley faces, we provide context with every click. And where you can see comments from Yelp or Google reviews, we give you the key, make the data accessible for you, and work with you to get the most actual value from your customer feedback. All this while keeping the user experience quick, intuitive, and rewarding. This solution is easy for any business owner or unit to start using and paid with a monthly subscription.
In our team of 2, there's a great balance between business and tech. My co-founder handles the technical problems, where I'm mostly in charge of the business side of things. We work well together and are especially keen on perfecting the user experience. Right now, we are close to seeing our first prototype in action as we continue validating our idea. And now you can scan this QR code to see a live demo of our product and give feedback on this demo day. When you have customers whose happiness is important to you, let's have a chat. Thank you.
Yes, thanks a lot, Pihla. Yeah, well done on the presenting the case. We'll try to give you some feedback.
Thank you.
It's maybe a little bit difficult for me to see the kind of the difference on the, like I can see your toilet wall kind of writing idea, but then how is it really different to like some social media kind of open comment thing that can you still one more time go through that?
Compared to social media?
Yeah, for instance, or
yeah, for instance, for social medias, for the consumer giving feedback, you would have to do that with your own name, and maybe you don't want to be the one who's also always like reviewing stuff. And for the customer, or our customer, the client, the business won't get the data for them, and we have analytics that are made for actually taking action based on the feedback, and then we collect the feedback. We could also introduce some AI to this solution, so we could connect similar comments and then have the conclusions more clear for the client to like work with.
That. Yeah, and for the restaurant customers' point of view, then how would you would have a QR code like this, and then you would log in, or how do you find the place to comment?
Yeah, so well, customers or restaurants would be a bit of an extension. We are now working with verkkokauppa.com and stuff, but yeah, it will be a QR code, and then it is a web app. So you don't need to download anything, you don't need to log in, you just give your feedback, and if you want, you can leave your contact info so the business can reach you afterwards. But you don't need to do that, so it's quick and simple.
Maybe similar question, or follow-up question. How do you then incentivize me as a customer to give you feedback? As in, why would I do it?
Yeah, thank you for the question. That's always a problem when trying to get feedback. But in our solution, we give you something back compared to the feedback form right now. And if you know, for example, Yodel, Yodel is based on people wanting to know what others are saying right now, right here. So we have kind of the similar incentive for you as a consumer to go there and see what other people are saying, so you get something to yourself also while giving feedback.
But I guess I wouldn't do it unless my experience is very broken or something, right? Or
yeah, of course.
Have you tested it with a lot of customers or users?
We are beginning testing in 1 week, so then we will get actual data on that.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was pondering, that kind of the happy or not, it's so easy, you know, even if you have a good experience, and I you know, at least the Finns are more inclined to say when it's a bad experience, and then if you kind of like, at the same time you're anonymous and open, so probably that's something to be tested, so that doesn't have a question there, but just to understand that it creates actually a positive thing as well, and you're able to somehow get the full sentiment. Obviously, it's good as a place to kind of focus on areas of improvement. But then, if you have that information available, you only probably have like more bad experiences than good experiences. So, I guess kind of like somehow like TripAdvisor, you have to do it in your own name. You have a mix of positive and bad ones, and then kind of get a better sentiment, but more rambling my thoughts than having a question there in the back of my head. But I think the idea is good, and it's just more kind of like just validating and testing how it works.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Pihla. Next up on stage, we have a team that is ending scams in peer-to-peer trading. Please, let's welcome Vihla from Make Trade.
Hi. Peer-to-peer trading of used goods online is sustainable, it is cost-effective, and yeah, it surely is trending. But unfortunately, it is also broken and not fulfilling its potential. The worst thing in trading with other people online is being scammed. Online marketplaces are full of strangers and you can't be sure who to trust. Also, when trading with distance, usually buyer needs to send the money in advance with no guarantees that the seller will ever ship the product. We are changing that. With Make Trade, you can buy anything from anyone and from anywhere safely. Our solution is a web-based payment service to get rid of scams and hassle. After finding something to buy or sell from existing marketplaces, go to Make Trade and complete the deal securely. So that you know who are you trading with, all users at Make Trade are registered with strong authentication. And to guarantee that buyer won't lose their money, the payment is first done to Make Trade's secure account. Knowing that the money is already on its way, it's now safe for the seller to start ship the product. And as buyer has received and accepted the product, Make Trade transfers the money to the seller. And from each transaction, we charge a percentage-based commission and fixed service fee. Online second-hand market is huge and growing with enormous potential. Existing payment solutions aren't providing sufficient security and people are still getting scammed all the time. That is why we are focusing only in bringing the security for people trading with other people online. We have faced this struggle in peer-to-peer markets ourselves, and therefore we are striven to tackle it. Our team is passionate, and we share the vision in making the world of consuming more sustainable. We have already reached hundreds of potential customers, and we have acquired over 100 pilot users to our waiting list. Right now, we are looking for experienced and interested people to join our board as advisors and to work with us towards a more sustainable future. Visit our landing page at maketrade.app. And one more thing, don't hesitate, just make trade. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, and I love the space. There's a lot to be done in the peer-to-peer space overall, but tell us more about your users. Who are your users? Are they already existing users of Tori and similar sites, and then they would register on your site on top of it, or how does it go?
Yes, our users would be the same users that are now using, and then also using Tori or, for instance, Facebook Marketplace, and our solution would be a platform, and they will go from the Tori or Facebook Marketplace to our platform.
So you're trying to replace Tori, it's not a plugin on top of Tori or nothing like this?
No, we are not creating a marketplace, just they can still meet at the same marketplaces than usually.
So only focusing on the payment side of it?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Thanks. Probably reveals my twisted mind that I'm always like looking at holes. What if I'm a malicious seller and I send a soap bar instead of an iPhone? So now if I get the money, and how do you actually make sure that that was the right stuff that the other person received?
Yeah. So
or if I'm then doing the other way around, that I'm the the buyer, and I just said I never received it. I received the soap bar.
Yeah. So for the seller part, if you're selling or delivering the wrong product, of course the buyer won't accept it,
Exactly.
and then the money
and I think
won't
that's a clear one. But
Yeah.
what if I'm a malicious buyer?
If you're that malicious buyer, in that case you would have to provide us sufficient proof.
Picture of soap bar.
Exactly. Something that it doesn't match the contract that you have made in the MakeTrade platform. So then the money won't be transferred, will be transferred, or you will have to send the product back, which you have received if it's flauded.
Yeah, I understand the problem, of course, and it's frustrating. But then I think that the solution that exists is that then you have curated or you have marketplaces that are taking the responsibility of the trade, that they are basically saying, that they buy the product from the seller and then they resell it, and they are then responsible for both parties that this trade is happening. So why wouldn't you, other than logistic problems, why wouldn't you do that?
So why wouldn't we buy the product from the seller?
Yeah, most of the electric marketplaces are like that. That Swapie or that they buy the product and then they resell it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you mentioned, the logistics on it are very heavy, and we would not really like to take part of that or be actually the ones who make the contract with the customers. They are still making the contract with ourselves, and we are only providing the safety in between. So we're taking it more in lighter approach.
Why would someone like Tori or some of these sites not do something similar then? Or what's the complicated level, or what's the value at your mobile pay?
We feel like they do not have the incentive to do that at the moment, since their revenue is coming from the ads. So they will get the people on their site anyway, even though if they don't have this type of product, and they will get the revenue there.
All right, let's give a huge thanks to MakeTrade. Awesome. And next up, we'll be hearing from a team that is simplifying restaurant experiences. Let's give it up for Ivo from Aaltoes.io.
Time is a valuable resource. That is why I hate wasting time in restaurants. With Aaltoes payment and ordering service, restaurant owners can minimize the time wasted by their customers. By scanning a QR code, you can get the whole menu and ordering system with the tip of your fingertips. Just like Bolt, but the delivery is to your table instead of your door. For restaurant owners, it gives statistics, makes for a better customer experience, generates more sales from upselling, in addition to savings on employee costs. In Finland, there are a few smaller competitors, but the truth is that I haven't seen their solutions in the Finnish restaurants, which amount to over 10,000 locations. The majority of those are within our target audience, a meal price varying from 10 to 20 euros. Abroad, however, there are bigger competitors, and QR code ordering is already a dominant system in the biggest European cities. We charge restaurants 25 euros a month for our digital menu, which we have ready, and we are piloting it for the first time ever here today at Ignite 2022. You can find our QR codes around the menu. We charge 100 euros a month for our payment and ordering service, which is expected to be ready in the upcoming week. Digital menu is nearly a hands-free process for us. The only job being printing and shipping the QR code stickers. then the restaurant owner just needs to install them to the tables. During the summer, we have been developing and iterating our idea and products while acquiring skills in web development and restaurant business. Our team of 3, soon to be 1, they didn't leave because I'm such a bad teammate, but rather they got their own different venture up and running. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Iivo. You know, it's kind of interesting. I was helping Walt in the early days, being part of the board, so it was like probably kind of one of the initial ideas that to do kind of pre-orders in the restaurant, and especially kind of ordering more beer to the table. But then it pivoted out of that. But that doesn't say it isn't a good idea. But one of the things, have you looked at the competition? I was just in May. I was in Texas visiting some friends, and quite a few restaurants actually had QR code menus, so you could pre-order there. And I think the primary driver there was actually COVID, so they wanted to get rid of the printed menus, that people wouldn't handle them and you'd pass them around. So at least in Texas, many restaurants I did order.
Actually in Europe, in Spain, during the COVID, they needed to transform to digital menus, and from there it has expanded throughout the Europe. Like Finnish is on the end corner, so that's why we don't
So
have
maybe a follow-up to that. So do you kind of like, where do you see the kind of the market opportunity now to take land grab?
Like take position in the market, and then in the future I want to focus on the statistics side of the things.
But maybe a follow-up question, what can be the differentiation? I mean, if you're thinking of going out of Finland is too small, right? Not interesting as a market for us. What's the next step? Or how can you be different in the future?
Like advanced statistics, but
all of the competitors
would capture Finland first.
But advanced statistics, all of the competitors would provide the same, right? Or
yeah, of course, all the competitors offer statistics.
Okay.
But
maybe
I would focus on the summarization of those statistics. Like nowadays, the point of sales operators in restaurants, they order statistics, but they order so much statistics that they don't know how to interpret them.
Maybe then another question on the business case for the restaurant owners. So what's the case for them, or what are you pitching them? As in they get, or they have to pay 100 euros or something like this, you said, but what do they get out of it?
They get like, they can, actually if you have a bigger restaurant, you can
I get it, but have you quantified it anyhow? As in, like, if I'm the business, or if I'm the owner, I would probably like to hear that. Okay, well, I pay you $100, but then I get 1,000 back or something like this. So have you done that exercise already?
What I've looked at from the abroad competitors, they say that you get 30% increased sales from upselling. Like you offer stuff in the end.
Okay.
That's like very seeable gain.
Yeah, I think the competition issue here is eminent. That it's very difficult or you need to find some new angle into it. I couldn't find, but we were in talks with the Norwegian company, which name I can't remember anymore. But they were in revenue level of 5 to 10 million, having couple hundred restaurants at least on them. But they were arguing the same point, that you will be able to sell more and have additional kind of quicker service and maybe even more efficient, less people working and on higher sales. So it's a good pitch for the restaurants. But really for you to take the market, it's that's the challenge really. To have it sales efficient, efficient enough. But if you're by yourself, I think that it's all okay. You can just say that I have 1,000 restaurants and I'm organizing them by myself. You'll win it that way. Yep. Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ivo. Next up, we're going to hear from a team that is making the whole world playable. Please, let's welcome Alexei from Aaltoes.
Hi, Aaltoes gamifies urban environments and architecture. People obsessed with imaginary universes of books, films, and video games tend to get isolated from the real life. And especially among young people, 40% often feel lonely. And there is a self-reinforcing cycle between video games, social anxiety, and loneliness. Aaltoes gives players stories and puzzles they love, but in the real world, together with healthy outdoor activities and social interactions. Our mobile game uses the power of augmented reality to turn city buildings into intellectual mini-games or puzzles. You can see it in action through our demo game, which is playable in Kamppi area of Helsinki and here at the startup zone. In addition to puzzles, our game concept includes interesting narratives, interactable characters, and social mechanics, such as trading items and solving puzzles together. Our main competitors are Pokemon Go and geocaching, but Pokemon Go is not focused on puzzles and is less connected to the real world. And geocaching lacks diverse puzzle mechanics, narratives, and augmented reality. As you can see, there is a niche here in the middle which is not occupied yet. And now is the best time to take it, because there is a new technology that allows accurately placing virtual content on the buildings, and because most smartphones became AR capable. Our scaling up strategy focuses on user-made puzzles, just like it worked out for geocaching and Moonzy. We will have an easy-to-use puzzle builder integrated into the app. And similarly to geocaching, some of the puzzles on the map will be locked behind the subscription tier. Our team consists of me, Alexei, and Miro. We are both Aalto students studying new media and game design, and we met through our shared passion to create games in a game jam event. In addition, I have a background in economics and data analytics, and Miro has a background in computer science. We have built our first puzzles and tested them with people passing by in the city, and it proved interest and technical feasibility of our concept. Now we are turning these first puzzles into a polished demo game, and after that we will start working on the puzzle builder. Scan the QR code to install our demo game, and let's make the whole world playable. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So, like, how would you get it out there in a sense that would you use the physical locations for people to find it while they are, or are you going to use the normal marketing efforts that you would do for your games?
For us it works very well, of course, to promote puzzles on the locations, but we have thought about some alternative strategies. For example, there are escape rooms in all the cities, also in Helsinki, and they have a few games and also some outdoor adventures these days. But yeah, the number of games is limited, so they need some more games to, so that the customers return and engage. So they would be interested to put our game there as one more, and we will get users to install our app and discover all other puzzles that we have. So this might be one smart strategy. Another one possible is some outdoor museums like Seurasaari and Suomenlinna. They also want some more, entertainment for their visitors, and then people discover us. So there are ways.
What is the customer group that you are targeting? Like, are you thinking adults or kids?
Yeah, by looking at our competitors' audience, it's from 20 to 40 years old, and interest in puzzle games strongly correlates with so-called STEM majors, so some science, mathematics, informatics, engineering, such like-minded people. It's about 1/4
so you're
of
making it for
population.
yourself. It's always good.
Kinda, yeah, but it's not all the puzzles, of course, will be complicated, and it's not just for gamers, because this is some like mini games that you play maybe on the way to a supermarket or somewhere, so you don't have to be, gamer to play it, just some casual game.
I like the idea. I'm just also trying to figure out why or how can you make it big? As in, what do you do differently, and how can you make it big and not just for a small group of gamers?
Yeah, so we have a lot of competitors that failed to scale, so they have just some adventures that they made by themselves, and only a few scaled through these user-made puzzles, as we presented. So this.
Just about to ask, what do you think are the main challenges in scaling this? Well, content is of course one, like you mentioned, user-generated content is one part, but what else?
Well, acquiring first users, of course, and then getting them actually creating these puzzles. It kind of works in this industry, because players of this game, they are very likely to make it themselves. Somehow they are interested in it. But yeah, of course, we need to make this puzzle builder flexible, but also very easy to use. So you would just select some puzzle mechanic from our list, some visual assets from the library, and your setup. Also need to scan the location with your phone camera. So yeah, we need to simplify the user experience.
What about kind of like, are you looking to shuffle where the puzzles appear? So because still kind of like, even Helsinki is a small area, if I would go for a walk, they are still similar places, and then if I've solved all the things or in my typical routes, it gets boring pretty quickly. So are you kind of like easily able to change that they're kind of like different ones every week, or?
No, they will not be changed, but some of them will have different difficulty levels. And of course, there would be more and more of them appearing because of the user-made content. So it's the same for geocaching and Munzi. There are now so many of them. The map of Helsinki is very densely populated, so you're just discovering more and more.
Yeah, and is the kind of primary business model is freemium?
Here we adopted it from geocaching subscription. So first, when you run out of free non-unlocked puzzles nearby you, you either have to travel quite far, or then you start paying. So it works like that. I think it's quite transparent.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Aaltoes. Next, we'll be hearing from a team that is tackling the health tech space with the help of wearable intelligence. Let's say welcome to Maris from Spotter.
What? Smoking is bad for you and dangerous, but you know what else is dangerous for you? You've been doing it for over an hour already. Sitting. Sitting is the new smoking. It damages you and causes, among others, lower back pain. I know this because I've suffered from this. Together with my co-founder Thomas, who was an active Ironman, he got a blocked sacroiliac joint that stopped him from performing at his best in triathlon and Ironman. For me, it got so bad that a month ago, due to my herniated disc, I had a higher chance of injury, and I actually dislocated my kneecap. We went to physiotherapy, and we quickly found out that the current solutions are insufficient. They're traditional, subjective, and error-prone. 95% of physiotherapists currently use eyeballing for assessment and diagnosis. 14% use tracking data at this current moment, but 90% will be willing to use tracking data if such will be more available. And this is something that we want to change. We want to bring physiotherapy from its current low-tech environment to a high-tech environment. We want to create a new standard for physical care for all of us. And we want to do so by combining sports science, technology, and human support. We think a good solution should include a data-driven treatment planning, monitoring using wearables, and a remote personal physiotherapist. During this Ignite program, we talked to experts and companies in this field and tried to figure out how to solve this problem. It turns out it's very big and very challenging to solve it. We spent 3 months in Ignite building our network in the Finnish ecosystem startup space and gathering experts and domain knowledge about this challenge. In the next 3 months, we plan to dedicate full time together with Thomas and go to Silicon Valley to explore this problem even further and validate and get our first customers. Our motto is to add years to life and life to years. We all want to live long and, more importantly, enjoy our time and not be limited by pain. If you're interested in following our journey to Silicon Valley, join our newsletter and I'll be happy to talk to you after this event. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I can start. So I guess one of the biggest issues for you is that there is no data available, right? And what kind of data could you have about the posture? As in just thinking how Aura or sleep trackers cracked sleep, same with Veri, or how do you get the data about nutrition? So it will be the same issue for you, as in how to get the data.
Yes. So we talked to actually all of those companies, Aura, Veri, Polar, Suunto, and all of them provide free APIs to connect to and get the data that they collect. And currently there's a new health trend monitoring happening where a lot of people do wear wearables, also when doing sports, for example. So there's a lot of new data becoming more and more available, especially now when Apple Health actually released a couple of months ago the possibility to take the API data and use it. Before, it was more difficult to the...
I get that part, but I'm maybe more asking what kind of data do you need to monitor my posture or how I see it, or...
Yes. One crucial thing is, for example, having insoles where we can gather the data with the pressure sensors to do gait analysis, so how are you actually walking. So that's one very effective way to gather data about your posture. Others can be, for example, a necklace that you wear or a monitoring device on your back that monitors your stance.
So in that case, what kind of wearables would you rely on? Are you thinking of well, someone else's wearable or existing hardware, or do you need a new hardware for that?
That's a good question, and we would like to go, this is still open for discussion, but we would like to utilize the current wearables that people are wearing and bringing into the treatment planning. And one possibility is to go for the hardware space, but it's a very difficult and a long journey in that space.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit lost still on what are you trying to do. It started with the kind of the wearable and then data, and then you went to the kind of the marketplace of physiotherapy, and then now you're getting a little bit back. So you probably need to still decide that what do you like to do on this space. But I'm a little bit lost after this presentation on the kind of the what is the final solution. But maybe that's why we have a lot of investors and some of them are smart. So maybe.
Always good to be the last one in the row. I have to admit I'm struggling with the same thing. That I understand kind of the problem, but it's still a pretty open kind of like blank page on the solution side. Whether you actually need to go into the APIs of an iPhone to get an accelerometer data and not the health data, but kind of like on a granularity level, and kind of are you able to kind of like from Aura Ring get the right data for you? I think that's still something to me. I understand what you are kind of trying to do, but the how part is very open.
Exactly.
I guess the biggest challenge is that you can't get it out of Aura, otherwise Aura would have this already themselves. As in, I think the problem is that you cannot get it with the existing trackers people use today, so you need to have more advanced, tech tracker hardware.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, but at least that's what I would work on, kind of just to understand what data do you actually need, and then kind of narrow down kind of like what is it exactly where you can get it from? Because I know there are like sensors for soles of the shoes, and there are all of these, but then it's a long journey if you try to just take all data but try to narrow it down a little bit more what actually you need. All right, but thank you.
Yes, thanks.
All right, thank you, Maris. Next up, we have a team that is helping you to find hidden gems in art. Let's welcome Richard from Artmo.
Art, design, it's too expensive, or it's some cheap shit from IKEA. Except it's not, with Artmo. So everyone knows that great artists only become famous after they die. But if you want to know who they are before that, join Artmo. See, through our great advantage at being in the middle of the art community, here at Aalto University, a world-leading university in art and design, we have access to hundreds, if not thousands, of incredible artists that want to be found, that want to share their products and have so much to give. So we created a marketplace where users can sell their products, which will help fund their studies and help them on their career. To ensure the high quality of art, we employ a verification system that guarantees the unique and genuine products, as well as certified sellers. So this means you can find artists from certain universities and artists that share your values. Furthermore, connect with the artists you love, follow their projects, engage in their work, and help them grow. Everybody wins. Now, we want to set a firm base right here in Aalto, and as we grow, invite more and more universities to expand our network. Me, Wen, we're both artists. I'm a professional music producer. I've worked with the biggest production music companies in the world. I know how to break into a creative field. And spoiler alert, it's hard. So that's why we're creating Artmo. Wen, she's an incredible designer, and she's a student here in Aalto. And as much as she is a good designer, she's passionate in helping others on their path. Now, at the moment, we're preparing for our official launch and opening here at Aalto in November. We'll have lots of our artists join. You can come there and meet them, talk about their art, and of course, buy affordable, great art. Today, though, you will have the opportunity to participate in our pre-sale crowdfunding activity, and so you'll be able to already today buy incredible art. So, yes. We'll be handing out brochures. You can scan the QR code. There you go. One more. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Richard. How are you going about to kind of create the buzz, create the traffic to this place? How are you actually kind of attracting customers to this place? It's a fantastic place with fantastic art, but how do you actually go about marketing it?
Yeah, so first we're going to collaborate with the local event from the Aalto Design Market by the student union here, so this November. So we're going to leverage the brand of Aalto University, and we're going to collaborate with other local design market events. And then secondly, the seller themselves, they will promote our website from their social media too. And we will also have our online marketing through our own social media. And then we will have the referral system that if you refer to friends, then you can get rewards.
Thinking about kind of like potentially having something like curated, competition, something that would create media interest as well, that you would have like somehow, just get some publicity, free publicity through
Oh,
PR.
yes, I forgot to mention that we will contact like roulette newspapers, and they will get.
Given it's a marketplace and marketplace dynamics, what's your assumption on the marketplace dynamics? As in, which side of the marketplace is easier for you?
Which side of the marketplace?
Sellers, buyers, and then if it's sellers, how are you going to attract them?
If I'm understanding your question correctly.
So, you know, any marketplace has both sides of the marketplace, sellers and buyers. And in your case, which side is more difficult to attract?
Well, definitely the buyer side.
Yeah. And if it's the buyers?
The buyer side because of our position here in Aalto and because we have such close contact with all the amazing people here.
Okay, so how are you going to scale the sellers part then?
The sellers part? Yeah. So after we kind of get a hold here in Aalto, we want to start inviting other universities, and when they see that we have more traction and we have people already, especially Aalto as a brand, everybody knows Aalto, everybody respects Aalto. People want to join and more sellers.
And why would they choose you and not some other similar platform?
Yeah. So at the moment, there is nobody representing students as such. Of course, anybody can go to whatever platform they want, but as such, as like one kind of...
Is that the biggest differentiator, that you're focusing only on the students?
Absolutely. There's a market where the high-end, expensive art is being sold, and then there's this other side of the spectrum where it's cheaply manufactured, mass-produced stuff, and we want to find that middle ground where... Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions.
Yeah, I think that it can be interesting that the university angle into it, but then I think that you are somehow lacking the full potential if you are thinking that it's still a local, kind of geographically local, that is Aalto students to people that know Aalto already. And I think that the great opportunity is obviously that you would sell globally and you will be able to. So I think that's but how would you present? It looks to me that there are very different type of pieces here, that you have you know, paintings and then ceramics and all. So how would you present them in a way that I would understand that what I'm actually getting, and you know, isn't that an important part of the process?
I think the one important part from our website is that you are supporting those developing artists, the future master of tomorrow. So you understand that their stories and their process, so you can see them grow and help to support. And this kind of personal connection is quite unique on our website.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one part of it. How to differentiate, how to like focus on like a certain like paintings or this. I don't know if I have an answer for you, but that's
and no NFT yet.
No,
I haven't heard. No. I was waiting for it.
Maybe another quick question on the...
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Richard and Wen. All right, everybody. It's time for the final pitch. Next up, we'll be having on stage the team that is combining NDT technology with sports. Let's give it up for Paavo from Sports NDT.
We all know that in sports, it's all about the winning. So we all also know that it's really frustrating for the players, for the coaches, and for the fans when this happens, when the crucial equipment breaks at precisely the wrong time during the game. That actually happened in 2006 Olympics. In the final game, Finland against Sweden, rivals forever. Third period, the game is tied. Saku Koivu, our captain, breaks his stick unexpectedly. Sweden scores the game-winning goal and goes on to win the gold medal. That's where we come in. We are Sports NDT, and we say never again. Never again should gold medal be determined by pure luck on whose stick is going to break at the wrong time. Rather, we're bringing NDT, so non-destructive testing, to sports, so that sports equipment don't break at the wrong time. The non-destructive testing technologies actually exist in various places in the world already. Like in windmill blades, you don't see them breaking unexpectedly and randomly. That's because of NDT. They are testing them to see whether they have some structural imperfections and then changing them in time. the same goes for airplane wings. Like if airplane wings broke as frequently as ice hockey sticks, I think that most of us wouldn't be alive here today. We're starting from ice hockey, but we're also bringing this technology to other sports as well, like pole vaulting, where the stakes are even higher. Luckily, the athlete in question didn't injure badly. He was able to jump the next day, but still, none of us wants to see this happening ever again. This is from 2012. Similar situation happened actually this summer. Yeah, some of you might have seen it. Yeah. So we've established that no one wants to see this again. So we would much rather see things like this again, or the guys winning Olympic gold medals. So we're not only actually predicting when or stopping stuff from breaking at the wrong time, but we're also, while we have been researching these NDT technologies, we've noticed that the equipment is not optimized for the players. So we can also use the NDT technologies to help the athletes choose exactly the right equipment for themselves. And we've actually noticed that the market size for that is even more lucrative than just when stopping equipment from breaking at the wrong time. I mentioned we, I meant our team. So myself, the CEO, this is actually my second startup run. And then there's our Monika and Migi and our wonderful engineers. If you have contacts in sports industry who are struggling with this issue, please come talk to us after this. Thank you.
Could you maybe explain how it actually works? As in, if you're talking about hockey sticks, how much does it increase the price?
Sorry?
So if you're talking, for example, about the hockey stick, how much does it increase the price? As in, why wouldn't it be used in hockey sticks already?
Why isn't it used in hockey sticks already? It's because the manufacturers of the sticks like that the sticks break, that they can sell more of these 300 euro sticks. That is the only reason why it's not used in hockey sticks currently, in my opinion.
Okay, how does it increase the price a lot?
The testing.
Yeah.
Well, yes, the factories are making, let's say, 30,000 sticks a day or so. So if they would have to add one more feature to the line, then that would add costs. But then again, not all the breakings happen because of manufacturing errors, but also due to fatigue from using the stick. So then the teams would need to have these machines, and currently there is no one selling this kind of machines to the professional ice hockey teams.
And how often does it happen? I'm just trying to understand the scale of the problem or issue.
So how often do ice hockey sticks break?
For example?
Yeah, approximately 3 times a game in the NHL. In the Finnish league, approximately once a game.
All right, thanks. We VCs love hockey sticks, especially when they're in different position than this one. But looks like you have the system there. Tell us a little bit more. How does it really? What does it do?
Well, we actually have 2 machines. One we were able to bring to the stage. We can't plug it in now, but basically. This is what we use to make sure that the players have the right stick at hand. So each hockey stick actually has a number that is of significance to the player. This says 75 here. It's about the stiffness of the stick. While researching for the other machine, we noticed that these numbers, even for the professional players, they're not accurate. They're not accurate at all. Furthermore, they're just one number. To make it accurate for professional ice hockey players, they should have at least 3 numbers to tell more about the properties of the stick. With this machine, we can measure, well, this number, but from different locations of the stick to tell more about the stick. And we've noticed that if a player buys, let's say, 10 sticks from the same manufacturer with the same number and same details, they're not the same sticks. So that's what we do with this machine.
And you would sell this to the team, so they would have them.
Yeah,
you would do that every game before you take a stick. You would use this.
Yeah, we would hopefully lease these machines to the teams. Yeah.
So, sorry, a lot of stupid questions. So if you are selling the machines, then so why no one is selling this machine? So what's the tech behind the machine?
I think that big companies that are currently using NDT technologies, they are interested in the bigger markets like the windmill blades, the airplane wings, and the nuclear power plants. So, and there are not that many, NDT experts maybe in the world. So they are focusing on that market, and what we are doing is, kind of taking the technology that already exists and then applying it to a niche market to which we have passion.
And how complicated is it for you to do this?
How
complicated or how difficult is it for you to do the machine or to make the machine, or?
How complicated is it to make the machine?
Yeah.
Well, we've spent now 1.5 years on making it, so it's quite complicated.
Okay.
But,
so this is your own hardware?
Yeah, this is our own hardware, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you already answered the question. You said that you like to do this because of the passion to the game, and it's a niche market, and we can see it. Of course, if you are selling or leasing one to every team, how many professional ice hockey teams are there in the world?
150.
Yeah, so it's not that many.
It's not that many.
Yeah. So maybe you should go to nuclear, back there and solve. It's a bigger market.
Maybe. But the bigger market is that if we can get this machine to the stores selling ice hockey sticks, so to the amateurs as well, because amateurs also pay the same 300 euros per every stick, and they also would like the stick to be what the
it will still be a really small market, so be careful.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Paavo. That was the last pitch of today, and at the same time, the end of this year's Demoday. But before we end things here, we want to give a couple of shout-outs.
First of all, thank you to all the coaches and guest speakers. Without you, a program like this would not be possible. So thank you. Second of all, thank you to our marketing wizard, Jana. Without you, the Ignite brand could not be as awesome as it is. So thank you, Jana.
And thank you, all of you who came here today, as well as the jury, for your awesome questions. You're all amazing. Give a big hand for yourself. And last, and the most important, a massive thank you to all the teams for making this evening and also the whole summer so special. So let's hear it one more time for the teams.
And you in the audience, if you're a student and you like what you saw today, keep us in mind. The next application period for Ignite 2023 opens once again in January. And you all, everybody, you're on home couches, watching through the streams, have a good evening.
And all the people in here, it's time to start the after party. The beer is right there, the DJ will be right here. Thank you for coming, see you next year.